Welcome back to my channel. My name is YOODOO and I am a stay-at-home dad currently living in the Australian countryside with my 3 kids and my wife. And I make my main income as a musician, and in this video I'm going to share a typical day of living on a budget and how I save money with the rising cost of everything. I'm sure a lot of countries have rising prices in food and living expenses, so I just want to share my simple life in this video and how I spend my time with a minimal mindset while still enjoying the small things. And every morning, I always take care of these chickens in the countryside and move them around this massive dome that protects the chickens from predators, but every few months they need to be moved. Having your own chickens is definitely something that takes a lot of patience and time, but it's definitely worth it because it saves us a lot of money on eggs. And after 20 minutes and a lot of manpower, I was able to finally move the whole dome into a fresh new patch of grass. Nice. And because our house is off-grid, we use a small gas bottle that's used for camping that we swap out every 3 to 4 months, and each of these bottles costs about 35 to 40 Australian dollars, which is pretty cheap. That means our gas for cooking only comes out to about $10 to $15 a month because our shower and hot water system is solar, meaning we get hot water and rainwater for free. And now I'm swapping out the old bottle for the new one. And I'm also hoping to do a full house tour of our setup in a future video, so definitely let me know in the comments if you want to see our tiny home along with my studio setup. And just after a few minutes, it's ready to go, and I'm going to turn the gas bottle on. And we also usually have 2 gas bottles next to each other because just in case one runs out on an emergency, we'll have an extra. And now time to go back into the house to make sure it turns on for breakfast. Even though it can be a hassle sometimes to constantly change our little bottles, because it lasts us 3 to 4 months, it's definitely worth it. And this morning, I'm going to be cooking something that my kids really enjoy eating as much as I do, and it also reminds me of my life back in California, and that's making a breakfast burrito. Because I grew up both in Japan and Orange County in America, the closest beach to my house was Laguna Beach, but I would also drive to San Diego and eat some really good Mexican burritos in the morning. And even though my burritos I make are nowhere as good as those burritos I grew up eating, it's something I enjoy eating because it's cheap and yummy, especially with our free-range organic eggs. But I first start off by cutting up all the potatoes, and we use a lot. It'd be a lot tastier if I use hash browns, but this way is a lot healthier. Now I'm going to put it in the frying pan and then cut up some onions. I think this is the most frequently used ingredient in all my cooking. And now that I have all my potatoes cooking, as well as having my onions prepped, I'm going to cut some mushrooms as well. Cooking food at home is definitely a great way that I save money in Australia, especially when you have a big family like ours. And being able to use vegetables from my wife's garden as well as fresh eggs from the property makes me enjoy the food even more. Even though I really enjoy buying food out, especially when it's something new, I've come to appreciate simple dishes, especially making sure that the kids eat certain vegetables. Luckily, my wife and I were very good at making our kids eat as much traditional and fermented foods like natto and kimchi and vegetables, so they aren't too picky eaters. And especially when I put onions and mushrooms inside the burrito, they eat the whole thing without even thinking about it, which is great for me as a parent to see the kids eat healthy. And now for the best part, I'm going to put these organic free-range eggs that I picked earlier from the chickens. We're currently getting 6 to 7 eggs every single day, so we can use it as much as we want. These tasty organic eggs will probably cost about $7 AUD for a dozen. So it's definitely a lot cheaper for us to have our own. Now that I'm making sure that everything is cooked, I'm going to be adding the tortillas at the very end to heat up into the pan. And this is just an avocado that grows on the property that my wife loves putting in her burritos. Now I'm going to fill up the wraps and make the burrito, and I used to work at a Whole Foods in America and I would make burritos all the time, so that's one of my favorite things to do is wrap burritos. And after a solid 20 to 25 minutes of cooking this breakfast, now I can have the kids enjoy the food and off to the next chore. And here's their little burrito on their little plates. And after we ate the burritos, my little boy wanted to have some freshly squeezed oranges, so we went outside to grab some from the tree, and I let him do it. This is one of the many benefits of having citrus fruit trees on the property, is free orange juice. Yum. And after squeezing 5 to 6 mandarins, this is all the orange juice that we got, and I like to put it in this Choya drink bottle. And now they can enjoy some free freshly squeezed orange juice right before school and to start the day. So before I drop off my little boy at school, I'm going to organize the cans that I'll be recycling for a bit of cash to use on our grocery run, and I'm taking my little boy today so he can help with recycling the cans, which he enjoys doing with the machine. So now that I'm packed up and everything is ready to go, I'm going to drop off my little boy and then continue with my errands.
Bye-bye!
Because we live in the countryside and live about 25 to 30 minutes from the closest store and about 40 minutes to the closest recycling center, when I don't take the train, I try to get as many errands done at the same time to make the trip worth the drive. But I do enjoy driving out in the countryside because of all the great views, and sometimes I see kangaroos and other animals. So now that we've arrived to the recycling center, we'll be recycling the cans and bottles for 10 cents each, and my little boy loves doing this. He just loves putting down the bottles into the chute and it just takes it away. We have a super easy system where I just hand him the bottle and he just lays it down on the belt. And these little errands and activities I get to do with my little boy is something I really enjoy, and it may seem a bit boring to a lot of people, but I actually really like listening to my little friend tell me what he thinks about the bottle machine because it gets him really excited. Being a stay-at-home dad just gives me so much simple time with my kids that really feels way more important and meaningful than anything money and a high-paying job would ever make me feel. That being said, working hard on this YouTube channel is a way that I'm able to make an income alongside my music to be able to afford and save money to travel between America, Japan, and Australia. And that's all thanks to the support I get from Ko-fi and subscribers watching these videos, so I really appreciate it. So after spending a bit of time with my little boy on this recycling machine, we finally finished, and now let's see how much money we made from the cans. Let's go. So today we made a total of $13 from our can and bottle recycling, which is awesome for our grocery run. And luckily our local grocery store had a $2 week, so a lot of the items are $2 and we're going to buy a bunch of stuff that we add to our grocery run. Even though we do a lot of our shopping at Aldi, this is a shop that we come to a lot as well because they have really good deals on vegetables and meat. You guys can let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the prices because I'm sure a lot of places in Australia will have different prices even within Queensland. But something my wife and I do is stay away from Coles and Woolies just because it's a lot more expensive. But because we grow so much of the fruit and vegetables on our own property, most of the stuff that we get from here is usually meat and sometimes these onions. Just $2 for a bag of onions? Can't go wrong with that. As I keep walking down the aisles of the store, I get to the main attraction, which is the chicken. Whenever we see these $2 per kilogram chicken drumsticks, we grab a bunch. This huge whole tray of chicken is only $4.86, which is about $3 USD. Here I'm telling my little boy how we got a really good deal and that we should be coming back sometime soon. So for today's haul, this is what it's going to look like: some fruit, veg, and some meat. Before I check out, I spotted a Boss coffee for only $2, which is really cheap for Australia because they're usually $4, but in Japan these are 100 yen, which is $1. All of this, including the meat, was only $20 AUD. Now I can enjoy my Japanese Boss coffee in Australia and give my little boy a little treat as well for helping me with the cans today, and I got him a mango passion fruit juice. One of the things that I love about Australia is how good the passion fruit drinks are, and it's something that I didn't grow up with in Japan or America. So now my little boy and I can enjoy a little drink together in the car before heading home to our little cottage. These are also another simple pleasure that I really enjoy with my little boy. And now that I'm home, I'm going to be cutting down some bamboos to end the video, and I really appreciate you guys watching to the very end. And this was a video I wanted to share of living on a budget in the Australian countryside as a stay-at-home dad making music, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video and see you guys later. Bye. And here comes my little creatures. Here they are.